Hi guys, welcome to Adam McKola TV. I'm Adam. This is the review of Manchester United's draw with Chelsea. Another goalless draw for Manchester United, but there were signs of improvement for Manchester United, boys. Nothing to get carried away with though. I think a lot of people will go in over the top with their optimism after the performance, as I do believe a lot of people have been going over the top with their pessimism as well, which is often the case, isn't it? But Manchester United's performance, at least in the first 45 minutes, was more of what we want to see. And I commented during the game that if we had played against West Ham, against PSV, against Wolfsburg, Bournemouth, Watford, I know we got the 3 points against Watford, and again, if we played like that in our bad run, but the results just didn't come, then I don't think there'd be as much pressure on Louis van Gaal because the team would be enjoying the football. But I think the second half showed more of the same. It wasn't that good. We didn't really get in behind Chelsea. Whether that was tiredness, obviously the festive fixture running, that's been 2 games in 2 days. It's a lot for players, but we didn't push on in the second half as we expected to do, and that has been our problem a lot this season, that we dominate possession in the first half. We have a few opportunities. We don't create a lot, although yesterday we hit the post, hit the bar. In the second half as well, Herrera had a great opportunity which Courtois pulled off a fantastic save. Wayne Rooney's opportunity from a great Cameron Borthwick-Jackson cross. Mata, was that a penalty? From my position, I didn't really see it clearly enough, but we had that penalty shout. And I thought Martial had a great chances where he could have maybe took a shot and he didn't. I think that will come with maturity and experience, but he does get himself in some fantastic positions. He just doesn't take them. He's not that greedy in front of goal, which you kind of want to see from a striker. As soon as they get in that box, just look to shoot, especially when he has got the ability to finish. But I thought he got into some fantastic positions, and Louis van Gaal's decision to put him up against Branislav Ivanovic nearly paid off for us, and maybe it should have. We didn't make enough of that in the second half. We failed to change things around though, and I think that's been a big problem for us recently. In games that we dominate the first 45-50 minutes and we don't get that goal, we fail to turn the screw, we fail to change things. Our only plan B option has been Fellaini, and I think yesterday it would have been nice to maybe see Anthony Martial go through the middle, change it around, because Wayne Rooney was getting frustrated. He started dropping deep a little bit more. In the first half he was running in behind defenders trying to make those runs, but in the second half he was dropping deep again and making it easy for John Terry. And I think the first half was a perfect example of how the football can work, how we can create opportunities, and maybe on another day we would have had 2 or 3 goals. But then the second half showed what our problem has been this season, and it's that failure to really take a risk, really go for it when it matters, and especially in the second half of games at Old Trafford where we should be. Great to have Morgan Schneiderlin back. I thought he was my man of the match yesterday. Played very well for us. Important to have him there, and I think we need to persist with this midfield of Schneiderlin, Herrera and one other, whether that's Carrick or Schweinsteiger or Fellaini. Rather it be Schweinsteiger at the moment. Carrick hasn't been the greatest, but I don't think Schweinsteiger has been as amazing as people make out as well. At times he has the ability to drive us forward up the pitch a little bit more. He did it a few times yesterday, but there's a few times as well where he gets the ball and he looks for the easy option far too often, and I think we've got to get our midfield pushing us forward a little bit more. And we yesterday in the first half we saw signs of we were committing players. Herrera and Mata kept swapping around and they were causing all sorts of problems. First Herrera was in the middle, then out wide, then in the middle, and Mata was doing the same. Mata was trying to burst in, make runs behind Wayne Rooney, and that's what Wayne Rooney needs as well to bring the best out of him. When Wayne Rooney was running at the Chelsea defence, so he had a few opportunities, there was never ever any confidence that he'd beat a man or get him on goal and score. And I think that's the case for the whole of the team at the moment. There's a serious lack of confidence in the team. Hopefully, if we can play like we did in the first half against Swansea at the weekend, then we'll get a goal and we can kick on from there. But I think no matter what's happening with Louis van Gaal, I think the decision would have been made before this Chelsea game. I don't think this Chelsea game would have had any sway on that. It may show that Louis van Gaal is willing to change, willing to adapt to the Premier League. Although it doesn't it's not consistent throughout the Chelsea game that he had really let go of the reins. I like Louis van Gaal. In an ideal world, we succeed with him and he does well and he proves the doubters wrong, and he gets us playing better football. But at the moment, it's a long run of bad performances. The one main thing for me is the players just seem to be playing within themselves, and hopefully we saw signs that he's allowing them to loosen up a little bit. But yeah, where do we go from here? We've got a January transfer window coming up. A lot of people calling for Jose Mourinho to come in. I'd guess that people still at the club, Sir Bobby Charlton for example, will still be against that kind of an appointment, although someone like Ed Woodward would probably look at it as a marquee signing and want to make it happen. So we're in a precarious situation at the moment. If results, I don't think this result has saved Louis van Gaal. I think if results and performances don't improve from here on in, then he's more or less a goner. But I'm hoping we see some improvement and push on, and we can get a performance like we did in the first half for a full 90 minutes, and with a little bit of luck we'll finish our chances. But yeah, a little bit better yesterday, but nothing to write home about, nothing to get carried away with. That's it now for 2015. So yeah, thank you for joining us. I'm gonna upload my first Football Manager video this week. I'm also starting a Manchester United Ultimate Team, so I'll be going through my 1 to 11 goalkeepers, right back, well, full back, centre half, centre mids, wingers, strikers, etc. And while I go through that, I'll be asking you guys for your input to vote in the bottom of the video. So whoever my goalkeeper is, you guys can vote for somebody else, and then we'll compare and contrast my team to the viewers and the subscribers of Adam McKola TV. I've also purchased, well, we've also got our hands on a new camera as well, so we should have plenty more content coming your way. See you later.